Welcome to Stop Dieting and Start Living podcast. I am your coach, Natalia Rodriguez, and I will be guiding you to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life by combining my coaching experience with the psychology behind the human eating behaviors and some simple brain science. Get ready to be coached by me. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode. In this episode, I want to talk about alcohol in case you wonder if you need to quit completely in order to lose weight. I will be discussing briefly in which situations alcohol can be harmful and some practical ways that you can handle alcohol effortlessly. Do you remember the times when you started drinking when you were younger? I used to drink for the experience, I remember, to know what was about, how it tastes. And also then after kept drinking because I wanted to like my friends, be liked. Or after I remember times where I was just recovering from bad experiences like breakups. I don't know if you remember those. And then after you grow up, you end up perhaps drinking on social events, perhaps with work colleagues, or looking for connection purposes, perhaps. And after you start dieting and hearing everybody talking about alcohol, even doctors talking about how bad it is to drink, you heard experiences about people that get hooked, so they become alcoholic. So that makes you think that you should stop drinking at all. So this kind of create a restriction in your mind that, hey, alcohol is bad. And then after a while, we create this perfectionist mindset. Like we cannot enjoy one glass, we need the bottle. And we start negotiating perhaps the calories, thinking, we'll exercise tomorrow. And we start creating battles in our head. Like I drink today, tomorrow I diet again. Or this is the last time I will do this, and making these silly commitments. We can use alcohol as emotional eating or an addiction, any addiction. So maybe it's important just for you to know why you are triggered to drink. Is it work stress? Maybe a breakup? Are you bored? The kids are getting out of control? I don't know. This is different for everyone. But if you see the pattern, this comes from what you have learned from your parents in the movies. Why do you think people like to drink? Usually, many of my clients, they use it as a way of relaxation. So maybe you're a full-time mom and you have a job, or maybe you're single and you just want to have fun and as a way of distraction. The most common uses of alcohol are self-care, escape for reality, manage emotions, some me time, relax a bit, have some adult time. A big one can be feeling lonely during this coronavirus. And if you are gaining weight, so you avoid putting yourself out there. And it kind of turns into you. It becomes like a cycle. I feel bad about myself, so I need to have a drink. But then I gain weight, so I have to drink again to feel myself, perhaps to feel a little bit better, or at least to forget about it for a while. Celebration is another big one. Get promoted, Christmas, New Year's, and feel happy. So alcohol has many connotations. Having drinks with friends. I don't know if you have any friends that you just met for drinking. Perhaps if you don't drink, you stop meeting them. So if you have some wine very often with your friends, that is not bad. But maybe if you do it too often, why you guys are doing it? Can't you just have some fun or hang out with your friends without it? With friends, drinking for me was to make memories. Like I was talking to my friends the other day about really funny stories and situations when we were having a lot of fun and doing a lot of dumb stuff. And I don't regret getting drunk, right? But if it becomes very often, this behavior, maybe you don't even know why you're doing it. So it becomes like a habit and a belief. A belief like that you cannot stop drinking and have friends. Perhaps you won't have friends. That a fear, a fear of losing your friends if you tell them you don't want to drink. Or that dinner without wine is not that enjoyable. Or I cannot relax if I don't have a drink. I need it. And in order to get this, you need to get real with yourself. As when we overeat, the little lies that we tell to ourselves, that we are tired, that we are busy, that we need this. You need to unravel the real reasons behind the habit of drinking. Is your normal life that boring that you need to drink in order to finally have some fun? I mean, these are hard truths that we need to face. But believe me, this will only make you feel bad for a little while the acceptance part is passing. After you accept that, you will find a solution and you will feel better with yourself because you will start doing things that are in line with your goals. Because what you want to do is to see if these things, their actions that you're doing, this alcohol that you're drinking is in line with your goals and dreams. Is this what you want? This will get you there where you want to be? Is drinking with your friends when you don't feel like it making you feel good about yourself? What is more important to you? I have a client that she used to have a glass of wine, sometimes a bottle, after a long day, when the kids went to bed and the house was finally in silence. It was the adult time. So she was able to relax. And so her way to relax was having some wine. And that started very naive. She did it one night and felt right. And she kept doing it day after day. She didn't notice it. And so her way to relax started by having a glass of wine. And because one time felt good, she kept doing it. And then she started having problems resting at night. She was having a hard time to fall asleep. She was waking up feeling still tired. And then she had to medicate some pills to manage her stress because, of course, she was not resting enough. Then she started gaining weight. And after 10 kilos, she started having confidence issues, started blaming herself that she was not able to put herself together, that it was her fault. And her normal life became a nightmare. I mean, imagine how this little thing unravels so much. And then after, she started dieting, because what we do in these cases, we start dieting, finding quick fixes. So she started dieting, self-medicating, making things even worse. In this example, you can see the link between the drinking and the idea of relaxation. What she needed perhaps at the beginning of all this, when she started experiencing the tiredness, was perhaps find another way to cope with these days. Perhaps when kids went to bed, maybe she could instead of start drinking, she could start a new hobby. Perhaps read some book or find something joyful and meaningful in her life. How do you think her life will change if you just start doing what it is more beneficial to you and that actually gives you real pleasure? We delude ourselves about the meaning of relaxation, joy, fun, pleasure, rest. And it is not your fault. Look, I grew up seeing my parents doing those things. My friends did it. On TV, on movies, you see the people relax drinking. That's what we learned. Honestly, I never saw my grandma going for a walk because she was feeling stressed or managing her anger with some breathing techniques. I mean, all of that seemed voodoo to me. Like, what the fuck? I don't need that. That's silly. I don't do those things. Those things don't serve for me. But that's a self-limiting belief. Have you ever tried? Get yourself clear on what is important, what is real, and what it is not. What really works and what doesn't. Question it. I invite you to try that. As humans, we need to find activities and techniques that soothe us in the right way, that really recharges and make us feel good afterwards. In the long term, shift the mentality to what feels good versus what feels bad. What is the definition about self-care? For me, should be the activity to do what I feel good before, during, and after. I'm not tolerant to feel bad about myself anymore. That is not an option. Get clear about the situation that is worth versus the ones that are not. Accepting the reality of why you do the things you do and getting clear when it stops being enjoyable, it's important. I believe now alcohol is not something that is used to enhance the experience. But this doesn't mean we cannot have some fun in other way for time to time. It is the same with eating, guys. What reasons are behind the action? If you know the impact of alcohol in your body, that usually is not the best, since the high sugar content, the extra work that your kidneys needs to do in order to process it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, if you have it every now and then, it's okay. You won't die. Your body will survive. He will process it and you will move on. And you will make memories. And that is what I want to bring to your attention today. This was another big learning from my coach because I never thought it that way. Drinking can be as fun as eating your favorite foods, a source of pleasure. But it can become harmful when you have a hard day and you say, I need a drink. It is a way to numb yourself and run from the discomfort. And sometimes it's okay, but watch out doesn't get repetitive and you don't make it your self-care routine tool. You are an adult. You have to find a way that comforts you when your body needs it. That's your job. And I tell you now, alcohol is not a way of relaxation. For example, on a date night, on a comedy show, on holidays, yes, it's nice to have a couple of drinks. We are creating new experiences. But you don't need to go until you black out. How drinking less can change your life. For example, not wasting a whole day just recuperating from a hangover. No more guilt. No more feeling bad about yourself because you drink too much. Definitely, it's important to be clear why you do it. And if you do so, if you want to, definitely it's important to be clear why you do it. And if you so want to lose weight, remember, that's your goal. That's important to you. So drink for the right reasons, to make memories and because you enjoy it. But there is absolutely, and I am 100% secure, that there is a point when that drink you're having loses the power of pleasure and it doesn't taste as tasty as the first sip. You don't need to cut it out of your life or go for skinny, low-calories cocktails. It is about the experience. Commit to live for that, to have real fun, and then just move on. On my dieting days, I used to avoid drinking at all costs, having to say no to my friends after dinner to go for some drinks because I fear to say no, to be the boring one. And then following one of these influencers on Instagram, she sells a lot of protein shakes, so she needs to make money, right? She advised people to have a gin with diet tonica or cocktails with artificial sweetener. Who finds in a bar artificial sweetener, for God's sake? So she advised to carry the sweetener on her purse. Well, I did that, and I felt awful asking the bartender for a diet tonica that also doesn't exist in a bar. And yes, this is a sad life. How you're going to enjoy life this way? We don't need that. You don't need that. If you want to go out one night and enjoy a cocktail, enjoy it. Have the one you want. Enjoy every sip of it. When I started doing that, I realized that 2-3 sips actually were enough to feel good pleasure. And that was it. It is the same when eating your favorite chocolate cake, for example. If you eat it every day, it will stop being your favorite. Aim to have it every now and then, when you really feel like it, when you want it. Not because of the environment, the situation, someone else, or because you're hiding yourself from being yourself. And think if that will make you feel good after, not guilty or drained. And understand that using alcohol as a part of relaxation is not real relaxation. It's not part of self-care. Does it really take the stress away? Avoid turning into alcohol. You can just think about how you want to feel after. If that drink will really make you feel good or better instead of going for a walk. Or if it's so hard for you, find a sparkling drink that can replace the emotion in the meantime you find out what is going on. But there is no pleasure more than that. So perhaps your brain is just trying to look for some stimulus because you're bored, you're worried. Sometimes it's okay to swap it for a calorie drink soda or some sparkling water with fruits. With all that said, alcohol, when trying to lose weight, is totally harmless when you do it with conscience. Lose the fear to follow what feels right. And you will see that you don't need to drink bottles the whole weekend or lose yourself to feel better. And a few sips of that drink and perhaps focusing more on enjoying the company seems nicer than just drink. Ask constantly why I am doing it. Do I really want to have this drink? Is this in line with my goals? This will make me feel better afterwards? Pleasure is something that makes you feel good before, during, and after. If you find pleasure on having a bottle of wine every night, I bet that you don't feel good after. So what's the pleasure in that? Or perhaps you're going out to meet people on dates. Usually, I know these times of Corona, no, but before. Usually people meet dates in bars. But hey, how good you can meet a person in a bar. This is a misconception. Why not to take a cooking class, go hiking? Find activities where you can get the chance to really get to know the person. And then you will know if you like it or not. I invite you to try different things. I know during these days, drinking in a bar is impossible. I just wanted to let this thought to land in your head, especially when things go back to normal. Remember also that if you want to lose weight, alcohol is not the problem. It's the reason why you do it, behind it. If you are in an environment perhaps where alcohol is a big highlight and you have some people that pushes you to drink and they make you feel bad about yourself because you don't follow, think if that environment is actually helpful for you, to your goals. It is time for you to step out of what no longer serves you. And if these people really love you, they won't judge you if you genuinely don't want to drink. Also, if you love wine in your meals, you may feel lost the real pleasure of it. But instead of quitting suddenly, you can just start slowly decreasing it by having 2-3 times a week instead of every day. Then you can start decreasing it every week a little bit less until you find that spot when you find it enjoyable again. Regain that feeling of real pleasure. When you do it every day, it becomes very automatically and you lose the joy. If you have the habit also drinking every Friday after work, think also why is that necessary? Do something that relaxes you during the week as well, so you don't have to end up your week feeling depleted and burn out. I have no intent to judge anyone here. I just want to make you aware of the limitations that we sometimes put in our head because everything is in our minds. I invite you to lose the fear, to do what feels right for you. Replace sometimes that drink for having some sparkling water with fruits or calorie-free soda and see what difference it makes. What are you missing? What are you needing in that moment? Is that drink? Or what else? And you don't need it to have a good time. I've experienced this myself. It's a good way to get a little bit real. Since I started doing that, I don't need wine to enjoy my weekends, for example. I feel fine saying no to my husband when I don't want to drink, even if he feels disappointed. It's his problem, not mine. And I'm not worried anymore if we are invited to a party or we go to a bar. I know that if I drink, it's because I make the decision. It is under my control. So here you go, guys. This is how alcohol can stay in your life and you don't have to worry ever again about this. Do the things that make you feel good before, during, and after. I believe in you. Thank you for listening and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That will support my cause, that is to impact as many of you to stop dieting and start living. For more information, you can find the link in the episode notes. I am also very active on Instagram, where you will find tons of information. Have a great one. Lots of love. Your coach, Nat.